these mason jars that were, my mother they had a great big, great big pot that they sterilized those jars.
Yeah. Would she make
And then
preserves?
Huh?
Would she make like jam?
Oh, they make jam, and they even had a pear tree and an apple tree, and a peach tree out in their backyard.
Did you
And
get enough to
they
do
picked
things?
those and put those up.
Yeah.
So we had a cellar. They call it a root cellar.
Yeah.
We had that filled with all homemade thing. The only thing they had to buy was meat. Well, although we had our own chicken. I remember once they killed the chicken. Ugh. They went like that with the neck. Ugh.
Now, was this up in Waterville, Maine, Grammy?
That's in Waterville, Maine. That's where I was born.
Yeah. Now, was it out in the middle of the woods?
No, it wasn't in the middle of the woods.
What kind of
I did
neighborhood?
live in the middle of the woods.
What kind of neighborhood was it?
Oh, it was good.
Were
In
there
those days,
Were there houses
you
nearby?
could go
or-
out there in the middle of the night and walk around. In those days, even out here in those days, it was good. I remember walking down the square at 8 and 9 o'clock at night, but I wouldn't do it now.
How come?
Waterville Square or Cleary Square?
No, Waterville Square.
Yeah.
Clary Square is in Hyde Park. That's Waterville, Maine. That's where I was born. And, oh yeah.
Now, what'd your father do up there?
Well, my father came from Canada. My father that's why he wasn't an American citizen. My mother was going to get, I don't know if did you know that?
What's that?
My father was going to get my mother had all her clothes ready to get married to this man who had money. And she went to a dance.
Now, what do you mean by a man who had money? Do you mean he just had a job?
No, he had a lot of money. He had a job that he made a lot of money, and he had money.
What did
he owned
do,
a business. He owned some kind of a business. I don't know what kind.
Okay.
And she had her clothes ready, everything ready to get married, the church and everything.
Yeah.
And she went to a dance, and my father happened to come from Canada, and he went to this dance, and she met him there, and she left the guy and married my father.
Yikes.
That was quite a thing. Yeah, my father was handsome anyway.
Yeah, my mother had told me a similar story. She said that she was all set to marry some guy who had money, and she ended up with my father instead.
Yeah, that's right. She did.
What's the story behind that?
Nothing. He was. I liked him too. He was a nice fella.
What was his name?
I forget his name now.
And what did he do?
I don't know. I don't know what they did. I mean, at that time they were just from like in graduating from high school. But he was a nice fella. Yeah.
So tell me more about the cancer in your family, Grandma.
The cancer.
Yeah, so you said your father died of cancer, throat
Yeah,
cancer?
my whole family. My grandmother, my father, my aunts.
Huh.
They died of cancer.
You said we had English in our blood?
Except Evelyn, of course. Evelyn had
Emphysema.
the breathing thing.
And we have some British in our background?
Yeah, my father's mother was English. They said she was tall. And my mother went there. I don't know if I ever told you.
Went where?
My mother went when she married my father.
Yeah.
He had a farm there
You found where?
in Canada.
In Canada, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Do you
their
know
family had a farm and he ran it.
where in Canada?
I don't know. I think they called it Paspapiak. That's the only thing I can say in Paspapiak. And my mother was a city girl.
Yeah.
So she went there, and of course the English grandmother wasn't clean. My mother was very clean, and she used to clean the house. And they had people working for them on the farm. They had like a farm, and people worked the farm.
A big farm?
Farmhands?
Oh yeah, a big farm. And my mother was a great cook, and when she cooked, they just loved her food. Oh, she made biscuits that high, bread. My mother was a plain cook, but a good cook. My mother used to cook for the when my father was a guide for rich people that went hunting.
Okay.
She'd go in the deep, deep woods. I remember the animals going around the cabin at night.
Oh, yeah?
Sure, you love that.
Bears and everything. Oh, yeah, remember my mother, when we sat outside, my mother always had a gun.
And where was the cabin, Grammy?
Oh, I forget where it was, but it was way in the deep, deep woods.
Was it in northern Maine?
Oh, I don't know where. I just know it was in the woods. And I used to hear the animals going around at night. Oh, I was so scared. No wonder I'm a city girl. I hate woods.
How'd you end up in Boston?
Well, first we ended up in Fitchburg.
Yeah. What was going on in Fitchburg?
Oh, my
Can't
father
imagine
worked
much.
there. In those days they had a lot of factories.
What kind of factory work did he do?
They made big spools of thread.
Oh, okay, so he was in a thread factory.
Big spools of thread on a machine.
Yeah.
My father used to fix the machines.
Fitchburg, wow.
Yeah, he used to fix the machines in Fitchburg.
All right, so after Fitchburg,
I lived there for quite a while, and from Fitchburg, my father came here. My father never liked to stay in a place too long.
So he moved to Hyde Park?
Yeah, so we moved up here in Boston.
In Hyde Park?
Yeah,
Milton.
no.
They moved
I
to
forget
Milton.
where we. Well, it wasn't Hyde Park. Because I remember it was Hyde Park. Because I went to the Catholic school over there, so.
In Hyde Park?
So I was
It's
young.
called the
yeah.
Cackle School?
Huh?
Cackle School?
A Catholic school.
Oh, Catholic.
Yeah.
And what was your father doing in Hyde Park? Was he working at a factory as well?
Yeah, in those days they had some kind of factories. He worked there. He did everything. He was a machinist, so when you're a machinist, you work on machines, and they had factories that needed machines
Do you
needed to
remember
be
which
fixed.
factories he worked
No,
at in Hyde Park? Was it
I don't
Alice
know.
Chalmers or General Electric?
Yeah, he probably worked there. I don't remember. I was young.
Now, do you remember where in Hyde Park you lived?
Where I lived?
Yeah.
No.
Can you speak any French still, Graham?
I can understand. Yeah, can I speak French? I can't make sentences. I have to think.
Now, do you understand the Haitian savages in your neighborhood?
The what?
Do you understand the Haitians in your neighborhood when they talk French?
She was talking to the girl that just moved in.
Oh, yeah?
Who?
You were, Jude Land. You were speaking to her in French.
I was?
Yes, you were.
When did I speak to
Remember
her?
Jude Land across the hall when she first came in? We were signing her documentation.
Oh.
You were talking to her?
Yeah. But I have to think to make a sentence now.
Uh-huh.
Before we always spoke French to my mother because she didn't know how to speak English.
She never knew how to she never
Oh yeah, she did it, but broken English.
What about your father? Did he speak English?
Oh yeah, he could speak. Well, his mother was English, so
Yeah.
he could speak.
Where in England were they from? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't know where in England. But I think the documentary at home about my family.
Who has this?
I keep forgetting to give it to you.
Is it a book?
No, it's just some.
Some papers.
Well, it's
a newspaper article.
Yeah, it's just not
Very-
newspapers. This girl got my cousin's daughter got
The
it
family
all
tree?
together for
If
me.
you can get that to me, Grammy, I can make copies for everybody.
Yeah, okay.